So I wanted to cover all the skills that we've gone over with Mr. Moose. So this first exercise we're going to go over is relax on the mat. So we want Mr. Moose to be aware of the fact that he has the capability to relax himself and calm himself down. So I ran into some stress behaviors when we're out on our walk. Whenever we get to a park and there's some more activity going on. So I would encourage Mr. Moose to do this exercise at a park, some space that has, other dogs and kids and bikes and all that crazy stuff going on. And you can start to gain some comfortability with it. Seems like he's doing a great job with the other pups here and is a happy camper in the great indoors. But as soon as we get outside, can be a little bit more anxious. So we'll want to certainly be able to utilize this exercise in a more high stress environment. So what we're looking for from the little guy is that he comes on over to the mat and then he rests his little chin down on the mat. And that's putting him in a really relaxed body posture. And that's sending a signal to his brain that everything is A-okay. We don't say any commands during this exercise. We simply break out our mat and give him treats when he's giving us this nice relaxed body posture. You can keep this fresh by working inside an easy environment, and then when it's a more stressful and challenging environment, he'll be more primed to be successful. So when we're done with this exercise, we simply take a treat or two, toss them off the mat, scoop the mat up off the ground. And so it's not something that we're going to want to keep out 24/7. It's something that we just utilize during the exercise and then we pick it up. So next, let's go over our name games. So we'll take some treats, drag him up towards our face. As soon as he makes eye contact, we'll give him a click and a treat, and we'll say Moose. And that time, we're not dragging the treats up. We're simply saying his name, waiting for that good eye contact. And we can even make a distraction for him, where I take some treats, drag him out to the side. Moose. He's got to come back, even though he's really interested in those treats that we've lured him over with. Then we can take some treats, toss him on the ground. He's got to be able to focus back in. Sorry, bud. Even though he's interested in the treats down there. Moose. Boy. And that's always a great opportunity when he's worked through his name games to work on some recall. Go get it, bud. Moose, come. Moose, come. Start hiding around corners, which is good for him. Moose, come. So he's got to find you. And start gaining more distance and working under different amounts of distraction. Moose, sit. Good job, bud. Moose, down. Good job, bud. So when his butt hits the floor, he's done the right thing in a sit. When his elbows hit the floor and then down. Moose, stay. Back. Stay. Bye. So you notice we have that slight counter, which is letting him know he's not doing the right thing. If he were to break when doing a stay, I just go, let him know that's not quite right. And we're also starting to turn away from him and walk away. So that's more challenging. If we want to make it easier for him, we can say, Moose, stay. And continue to face him. Stay. Continue to face him. And that's going to be a little bit easier for him. Good job, bud. Moose, stay. Excellent. And then turning away from him is going to be a little more challenging. And we can certainly start to spend more time away from him. Moose, stay. So distance and duration, as well as working under some different distraction. Great ways to continue to make it more challenging for our Mr. Moose here. Next, let's go over our leave it. Leave it. Good job, bud. So I like to treat from the ground after I'm working on a leave it with the pup, as well as another aside is we want to work through as many different items as we can, and that'll create a strong learning response from him and have him aware that whatever it is, he's supposed to leave it regardless of whatever the item is. Leave it. Good job. And also, if he gets something in his mouth, we tell him leave it. If he's going after something, I also tell him leave it. So we basically used a leave it and a drop it interchangeably. Excellent. Moose, touch. Good job. So this is our targeting exercise. We want Mr. Moose to be able to go wherever we want him to go, simply by putting our hand down and telling him touch. So this is excellent for walking. Have him position himself. I've also utilized it in the great outdoors, walking around. I just want to get a dog's attention. It's another useful skill. It's the beginning of agility training. Moose, touch. You simply do that where you continue to move your hand after he's coming after it. He follows it. That's what he learns to, follow a hand in and out, poles, up ramps, all that good stuff. Moose. Space. So this is our anti-jumping exercise. When we tell Mr. Moose space, we want about a 2-foot bubble around us. And so I want him to also be stationary when I let him know that he's completed his mission there. Moose, space. Good job, bud. So you can try some from the front, some from behind, some from the side. Moose, space. Good job, bud. Let's try one from the side here. Moose, space. So we can use space for ourselves. We can also utilize it for another person. Both are excellent opportunities. So next one I want to go over here is our door behavior for Mr. Moose. So when someone comes to the door, we just want a habitual and patterned response from Mr. Moose. So we want him to go on over to his mat when someone gets here and hang out until he's been released. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our mat and have him come on over to his spot. So this certainly differs from relax on a mat. We're actually telling him to go over to this specific location. Moose, mat. So initially we can give him a click for hitting the mat. I'll show you what it looks like in its entirety. But initially for going to the mat, and then Moose, down, for giving us a DOWN. And Moose, stay. So we've also desensitized him so you can fiddle around with all the different aspects of your door. And we let in our guest. Free. Good job. So now he is completely done. So let's give you some here. Good job, buddy. In its entirety, it would look something like this. You still getting your traits? Go, bud. So someone comes. Moose, Matt. Good boy. Good boy. Guest, welcome. Free. Good job, bud. Good boy. Perfect. So just give him basically a task and a role every time that someone comes to the door. We want him to go do the exact same thing, so he comes on over. You'll notice that it took him just a minute to give us a DOW in there. That's fine. We just kind of wait him out for just a second. He knows what we're looking for. If we need to ask for each individual step, you hit the mat, you give us a down, you stay, and then you're released. That's fine. But once he's done the whole routine enough times, it should look like that, where we just tell him, Moose, mat, he comes in over, hangs out, and then waits until he is completed. And then free is his release cue, and lets him know that he's done. So for now, I'm giving him I tell him free, and then give him a click, let him know we're done. You can also feel free to say free, and then toss a treat off the mat. That's fine too. But get him used to a command that lets him know that he is that he's finished. So one other thing that I did notice from Mr. Moose is a little bit of a counter surfing. And so what we want to do is you put something up here of mild interest. And I'm going to show him this. Moose. Good job, buddy. And so I just want him to, Moose, look at that thing and realize that it's up there. But I'm just going to Moose. Clicker him for checking back in with me. Good job, bud. And hanging out down there. Moose. Good boy. So every time he focuses in on me, Moose. Moose. Yes, good boy. Then I'm going to reward him for that. And I want him to get used to Moose. So keeping 4 feet on the floor and getting rewarded. Perfect for doing the right thing, which is just hanging out. And we can do this from a further distance. Really, Moose. He's doing an okay job. We're about 3-4 feet away. But this is a work in progress. The simplest and best solution is to keep things off the counter that he can get to. But a way to reinforce him doing the right thing is simply to put something up there, Moose, of low value, and give him clicks and treats for checking in with you. And see that? Moose. Letting him know that you appreciate him hanging out and not making a move towards the item. Moose. So initially we're getting real excited about it. Moose. And Moose. We need to say his name a lot. Then when he starts voluntarily checking in on his own, that's even better. When he looks at the item and then looks back at me, and I don't have to say his name, that's just great. That's a step in the right direction. But for the time being, Moose, I let him know that he's doing the right thing by hanging out here, even though he sees that thing. So he keeps checking it out. And Moose, he's just a curious little guy. So it's going to be a challenge moving forward for him. So again, just keeping everything off the counter that he can get to. So it's not a rewarding and reinforcing activity. Moose. And then also, if need be, you can work through this exercise, which is simply clicking and treating. Moose. Moose. Good job. See, so he was super interested in this, but did not go for it. And that's really, really good. If you're working this exercise and he does go after the item, then you could simply make it a lower value item. So it may be something like a rock. Possibly a red ball is right on the threshold of what he can handle. But he can, so that's great. And we want to continue to test his ability by putting more high value rewards up there while we're working on the exercise. Good job. But again, simple solution is the best. We don't want him to have any reason to jump up on the counter. So I did notice he's prone to doing that. Good job, bud. Very good. And I'm going to scoop this up so we don't have a reason to get out. Perfect. Very good job, sir. Very good job.